Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Lakeland Rotary Club. My name is Joel Ivy. I'm so happy you all can join us online and in person. We got about 30. Is that our count, Jack?
A little over 30.
A little over 30 people here in person. We're happy to see everybody, whether you're here or online. So thank you so much for participating with us. Our greeting services was provided by Corey Newpower. He's the CFO at Lakeland Auto Mall. I owe him a whole lot of money right now. Corey is a 4-year Rotarian. Leading us in the Invocation Pledge of Allegiance and the recite the four-way test is going to be Dr. Mike Loudon, well known to us. Dr. Mike is a retired minister of the First Presbyterian Church, a Paul Harris Fellow, a 22-year Rotarian of this club, a past president from another club. He enjoys long walks on the beach. This just goes on forever. And he's a board member elect. Dr. Mike, would you please lead us in invocation?
31 people and Ron Denny. That's great, isn't it? Let's pray. Our gracious God and our Heavenly Father, thank you for a beautiful, beautiful Lakeland, Florida day. And thank you for blessing us in so many ways, even as we walk through this pandemic. Thank you that the club is able to get back together, and we thank you for those who join us online also. And we pray that you would nourish and strengthen us with the good food. And Lord, we also thank you for Melody and Scott and the committee who did such a great job with Spring Obsession. May it be a tremendous fundraiser for this club and for the needs of this community. In thy name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? All right, thank you, Dr. Mike. Appreciate that. Everybody here in the back of the room okay? So that means no. Now to introduce the guests and the visiting Rotarians, Jack Lohman is going to manage that process for us. Jack, if you mind stepping into camera view. Yeah, you are good looking. Let's start with the online people first, please.
All right. So if my online Rotarians could let me know who they have as a guest today.
Hello, hi, it's Melody. I have Greg Agoyan with me with the puppy in the background. He is my Director of Student Services, and he came out and volunteered on Saturday and said, what a bunch of nice people. I said, yes, they are. So join me. So he's coming to his first meeting, and next week I hope to attend in person. Thank you.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on, let me introduce him. So Melody Ryder has with her Greg, how do you say his name?
Agoyan.
Gagoyan.
Agoyan, yeah.
I'm sorry. Everybody say hi to Greg.
Hi, Greg.
Next.
Stacey Campbell Dominic. I have my guest with me, Allison Lewis. She was in attendance last week and she's coming back this week.
All right, thank you. Stacey Campbell Dominic has Allison Lewis with her again this week.
Hi, this is Debbie Burdett. I have Belinda Kramer with me, and Belinda is the marketing manager for the Early Learning Coalition.
And Debbie Burdett has, say the name again?
Belinda Kramer.
Belinda. Mm-hmm. Belinda Kramer with the Early Learning Coalition.
Yep.
Hi, Belinda.
Anybody else?
Not yet.
I think that's it for our online. Dr. Mike, go ahead.
So excited. I have with me Dr. John Fullerton, who is the pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Lakeland and desires to join the Lakeland Rotary Club.
Dr. John Fullerton.
I also have two guests today, so Ryan McCullough from International Diamond Center.
Ryan McCullough.
He's also joining.
Diamond guy. Hey, Ryan. Ryan McCullough from the Diamond Center.
Joined us because of guests. Charles Marty and
All right. right, Charles from who spoke to us last time. Welcome. Anybody else? Any visiting Rotarians? Is Doug McCall on the line? Surely. Wow.
No Doug today.
All right. Very good. Welcome, everyone, and thank you all for joining us. So we're going to finally put the president-elect to work. Our own Mr. Nate Dunham is going to lead us in happy dollars. Nate, do your thing. Just hold it, carry it around. This live.
Okay, who's happy? Anybody happy? Okay, I'll start. I'm happy that I was asked to do happy dollars and not introduction of guests. So I'll put $1 in for that. Somebody's got to be happy. I'll just start picking on people.
I'm extremely
There we
happy.
go.
It's Melody, and March 13th is behind
Hold
us.
on.
Oh, sorry.
All right. I'm happy to announce that we welcomed our 4th grandbaby, little baby girl, about a month ago. The only bad thing is she lives in Jacksonville, but we bought a Daytona condo, so we're halfway between now. And the second thing I'm happy about, our oldest granddaughter celebrated her 3rd birthday this week.
Is that Ron Denny?
Yes, that's Ron Denny.
Thank you.
Thank you, Don Selvage. I'm here as your city commissioner in perpetuity, and I'm happy to report that we have 4 candidates for the special city election in April, first Tuesday in April. And I encourage everybody to get to know them. And I won't go over their names, but there is tonight a candidate forum on Lakeland Now through YouTube. So I invite everybody, if you have time, to please get to know these gentlemen, because your vote will count, and we'll go back to semi-retirement.
Oh, hang on.
I am happy that spring session was a success and it's over.
Yeah, ditto. I'm happy that Spring session was great, and I had a chance to be there, and my wife, who loves flowers, loved it. She had a blast. So thank you to all of those who were in charge.
All right, anybody else? Oh, here we go.
Have a normal day going to work. I agreed yesterday to leave at 10 o'clock Sunday night to drive to North Carolina to have a meeting to come back today because I had to be here today. So this is a wonderful day to drive to work. Have a nice normal day. So,
Who was that, Joel?
That was Marlon Lynn.
I'm happy for a couple reasons. One, because Marlon let me borrow that $1 so that I could make the announcement that this past Friday was my last day at SEU, employed by SEU, and I've recently accepted the role of Major Gifts and Leadership Advancement at the United Way of Central Florida. So I'm thrilled about that.
That was Gwen Allen.
No, Gwen Allen.
Any more? Oh,
Hang on, we're not done yet.
what are you happy about?
Well, it's Martha Lou Luce, and I'm just happy to say John and I have both had our second shots for 2 weeks, and we're on the go. So.
Okay, so let's hear it from our online folks.
I was going to ditto what Gladys said of being happy for the same sentiments.
Melody Ryder is incredibly happy that the spring obsession is over. I'm going to throw in $1 because I'm happy to see Chuck McDaniel is online today. Anybody else? Last call. Yeah. The question in the room, Chuck, is what is your classification now?
Well, I wasn't going to come back. I thought Joel was gone, but
he said he came back too soon. He thought you were gone.
Well played. Well played.
No, now you have to deal with Nate.
Thank you, everybody. And finally,
Thank you, Nate. I am super happy for the turnout that we had at spring and session. I think that far exceeded all of our expectations. The effort that was put forward by the committee was extraordinary. And I think we should all give Matt, Melody, and the rest of the committee a big pat on the back because that was really a difficult thing to do. All right. Wow, that was a good long happy dollars. Excellent. Like to see happy people. I don't know if Brandon Clark is online. Jack, can you hear from Brandon? Okay. So we will not have a foundation update today. Then good. I mean, all. Melody or Matt Schichtel, anything more for the spring of session? Say no because you're online, please. No.
Pat, are you there?
All right.
Yes, I'm
Is there
here.
any other announcements that anybody would like to make?
We're good.
Of course, Jack.
So to congratulate our Spring of Session committee, and just because we need an excuse to get together, happy hour next Thursday at Federal Bar. Thank you, I forgot. Yes, 5 o'clock at Federal Bar. You don't have to RSVP, cash bar. Just come, be with your fellow Rotarians.
All right, very good. Our program is going to be brought to us and announced by Kim Brunson. You still here? Okay. Come on down. Kim is a business relationship manager with Public. She's on the board of directors. She is our program chair and doing an excellent job, as you might expect. Kim is an 8-year Rotarian, so please do the introductions. You got 2 hot mics.
Is it okay if I move it? All right, for the short girl. Okay, well, it is my pleasure today to introduce Lincoln Mateo. He's the head of school of the Academy Prep Center of Lakeland. He's Chief Operating Officer. He has a BA in history with the University of Notre Dame. He has a degree from the University of Florida at the College of Law, and he also has an education degree from the Administration, Planning, and Social Policy from Harvard University. We're very lucky to have him. Lincoln is head of the School of Academy Prep Center of Lakeland, which opened in 2019. Prior to coming to Lakeland, Lincoln served as the founding head of the School of Academy Prep Center of Tampa from 2003 to 2019. He also serves as Chief Operating Officer and for the Academy Prep Foundation, which oversees all 3 Academy Prep campuses, Lakeland, Tampa, and St. Pete. Before coming to the Academy Prep, Lincoln served as assistant president of Boston University. He held other positions at the Massachusetts Board of Education. He was a principal of Chelsea High School in Chelsea, Massachusetts. He helped propel Mitt Romney to the Massachusetts. He helped with the initiative to petition the campaign for the reform of the bilingual education laws in Massachusetts, which helped propel Mitt Romney to the Massachusetts governorship. He subsequently invited Governor-elect Romney to serve on Romney's transition team through January of 2003. Without further ado, please help me welcome Lincoln to talk to us about our academy.
Thank you, Kim, for the introduction. My name is Lincoln Tamayo. Just want to talk about what equal education opportunity looks like. And here specifically at the Academy Prep Center of Lakeland. We are a private school. We only accept, and we're a grade 5 to 8 middle school, basically, with a graduate support program that works with our students through their high school, college prep years and into college to ensure that these children make it through the educational pipeline like so many of their parents and grandparents did not. We accept only students who are hovering at and then less than the poverty line. We do not charge a penny of tuition. We raise every single penny for every wonderful child whom we serve, from individuals, corporations, and foundations. Our students are in school from 7 in the morning until 6 in the evening, Monday through Thursday. We get out early on Fridays at 4:30. And then every Saturday, we have a required field trip for one of our grade levels. So it further expands our intellectual and social horizons. We are in school through the month of June. The only month that we are cast to the winds is in July. We go through June and we saddle right back up with our cherubs the beginning of August. It is a college preparatory education. From the very first day where our students join with us, it is the express goal to educate them the way they deserve to be educated, to hold them to the same standards that we would demand of our own children and grandchildren, to truly provide to them an equal opportunity to an education. You know, we are all, as American citizens, endowed by our Creator with the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And one of the greatest ways to pursue happiness is to be provided an education that means something. You know, I was born in Cuba. The communists and the socialists, you know, have it wrong. There is no such right as a right to equal outcomes. We do have a right as human beings to equal opportunity, to take full advantage of the gifts that God gives us and to make the best of it for ourselves and for all those that we serve in God's glory. And what have we done? I promise you that what we will do in Lakeland with the children we serve will happen just like it has already in Tampa and in St. Pete. We opened our St. Pete campus in 1997. I was lured back from Boston to come and open the Tampa campus in 2003. And let me tell you what those wonderful young ladies and gentlemen have accomplished over these last 23 years. After these 11-hour school days, 6-day weeks, and 11-month years, in areas where within a mile radius of our campuses, fewer than half of the adults hold high school diplomas. The graduation rate of Academy Prep students from high school in St. Pete and in Tampa has been 99%. And it's 90, the kids do deserve that. It's 99% graduation from schools like Jesuit in Tampa, Berkeley, Tampa Prep, Shorecrest, Admiral Farragut Academy. Little old Academy Prep in Tampa has sent in the last 9 years 8 students to Phillips Exeter Academy in New Hampshire, to Deerfield, to Choate, to Woodbury Forest in Virginia, and graduating at 99% rates. So that tells you that these are not your token black or brown or white children without money. These are children who are becoming young men and ladies who are able in their own right to sit at the table and to achieve with all of us. We then send 85% of those graduates on to college, and they are already graduating in droves from places like USF, UCF, Florida State University, the University of Florida, the University of Florida College of Law, just like me, at the same table, just like me, Presbyterian University, Columbia University, Northwestern University, Bard College in New York, the United States Air Force Academy this year from one of our Tampa graduates. It is our promise that the same thing will happen with our students from Lakeland who are endowed again with the same gray matter as all of us. So that is what we do. And we can't do it without the support of the community from where we serve. For example, we've got Ryan here from IDC. IDC is just a beautiful example. Types of corporations that really go hand in hand, arm in arm with our kids and see them to the promised land. We cannot do that in Lakeland or in Tampa or in St. Petersburg without the support of the angels in our community, like those at IDC and in so many other places. So that's what we do. There are so many other very interesting, unique wrinkles about what we do other than just the hours where we spend. For example, all of our students are in uniform. We are disciplined even physically and visually, everyone in uniform. We separate our girls and boys academically. So all of their academic classes, it's either all boy or all girl. And we do that for several reasons. First and foremost, the overwhelming majority of our students come to us at least 1, if not 2 and 3 years less than grade level in mathematics and in language and reading. Through no fault of their own, they just have not been held to a very high standard. So we've got 3 or 4 years because we only admit in 5th and 6th grade. We need our kids for 3 to 4 years so we can get them ready to be successful at places like Lakeland Christian or the IB program at Bartow or the Harrison School or All Saints. We need those 3 or 4 years. But they come to us 1 to 3 years less than grade level. They're also entering their adolescence, where little Johnny begins to notice little Mary and vice versa. So it is incredibly important that we have our students stick to their knitting academically. So we separate that. The involvement from our parents. We believe even far more importantly than being vested financially, that our parents have a direct understanding of what their students are doing and what life is like in the community of Academy Prep. And for that reason, we require for every family of every child at Academy Prep 40 volunteer hours so that they vest their time in the education of their children, helping us with field trips, helping us with study hall, any number of ways that we can connect together. So it makes all of us a stronger community. It makes us better leaders of our kids. The more we have our parents and our grandparents and aunts and uncles working with us side by side. So that is another way in which we are really quite different from all other places. And of course, quite unique in that we will only admit students who qualify for the federal free and reduced meals program. We are 100% free and reduced price meals. And we don't charge a penny of tuition. So for example, schools like Jesuit or Berkeley or All Saints receive anywhere from 85 to 95% of their revenues through tuition. Academy Prep receives 0% of its revenues through tuition, and we ask our community to chip in, truly chip in, if not shovel in, for the sake of our children. So again, it's got to say it's a real indictment
it's a real indictment on our society that we don't have 5,000 schools of either public or private stripe, doesn't matter, that hold our children to account and the standards like this that they deserve to be held to. But by God, we will be here in Lakeland and in Tampa and in St. Petersburg. And we're talking to a group now from Orlando that wants to expand Academy Prep to Orlando. We can't wait to get down further east on I-4 to get to those children as well. But we are truly shedding God's light on the communities we serve and for all of us in our society on how kids truly can be educated and they can succeed just like we have. So it is an honor for us to have been invited to the to Lakeland and to this community to serve the children of Lakeland and Polk County, and we cannot wait to be with you and generations of our children for many years to come. So I thank you very much for the time in allowing us to introduce ourselves to Lakeland as Academy Prep, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. But thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Your selection process. Who do you go to? Go to the local club.
Yeah, they come from the question is how do we recruit our students? Where do we get our students from? Just like it was for me in our first few years in Tampa, it's the same thing here. But you can well imagine that our recruiting was dried up tremendously by the pandemic. But I would go to little leagues, to boys and girls clubs, to churches. We would talk to as many guidance counselors in our elementary schools as we possibly can. So it's really just hitting the bricks and getting to all these places. We're able to do that a little bit more now this spring than we were last year. So we are getting back to those boys and girls clubs. Parker Street Ministries is a fantastic source. Naturally, Tim Mitchell serves on our board at Academy Prep in Lakeland. So we're making those kinds of connections with our students in our communities. As far as the admission standards, it's really quite a long process, but it starts with taking an admissions test, which is very basic standards in math, reading, and in language, and we're just looking for a passing grade on that exam, so that we don't have someone that we're taking in who's at pre-numeracy or pre-literacy level. We'll take someone who's at even 2 or 3 years less than grade level, but we've got to have someone who's got something really beginning to fire. So if they pass that exam, and because of the tremendously negative impact of our children over this last year, where a lot of them the gap has grown in their educations. This year, we're accepting as low as a 50% on the entrance test to continue with the application process. And so once they pass that test, then we have the application sent to the students and their parents. It includes 2 essays from the child and 2 short essays from the parent on their motivation to send their child or them wanting to come to Academy Prep. We get the recommendation from their teachers, their transcript, and then we interview the students and their parents. We then invite them to the summer session, which is the month of June, and that's the last part of our admission process. And then at the end of that session, we then select those final 15 boys and 15 girls who invariably will join our 5th grade class. And then the same thing with our 6th grade for those spots that are open after attrition after the first year. Oh, and of course, part of the application process too, this is very important. They have to document their financial need to receive the full scholarship to come to Academy Prep. If you do not qualify for the federal free and reduced meals program, you are not admitted to Academy Prep. Yes.
Lincoln, what are some of the different events, fundraisers that would be available to the public?
Well, we are, as I call it, we're getting off of our training wheels with fundraising this year. We're in our second year. The first Academy Prep Lakeland fundraiser is on our campus on May 6th. And we feel that it's very, very important, being a new school, a new 501c3 in this community, that we have this event in person and on our campus. And it's basically an invitation to a mini day at Academy Prep where our guests go into the classrooms, meet our students and our faculty and staff, and see what an Academy Prep day looks like in a truncated fashion. But that's happening on May 6th. And if you'd like more information on that, I do know that we've got information cards here, and we'd be happy to have you. Happy to have you. Thank you, Ryan. Yes. Yes. So the question is that other than monetary support, are there other ways in which Rotarians or anyone else from the community can support Academy Prep and our kids? There's so many different ways. An example of that is I believe it's now 4 members of our community come in on a weekly basis to tutor, one-on-one tutor our students. Our community members can absolutely help us on field trips to help chaperone our kids. A study hall. Well, there's really no single project that we would do. We tend, when we seek help from our community, we'd like it to be ongoing assistance. Really have to realize that what our students, what our kids especially crave is some kind of ongoing commitment, because God knows there's so many of the situations in which they live, there is not something that they can depend on a regular basis. So when they can depend on an adult who is there with them at least once a week and continues in that process and that commitment to them, that's really important to our children. So if we can commit to something like that, so tutoring, study hall, field trips, literally coming once a week to help monitor lunch and recess. Another caring adult there on a regular basis. There's so many different ways you can come and help us. Yes, ma'am. In the back.
Well, I'd love to say everything's a surprise. But okay, I've got one. If they graduate from junior high, then they go on for further. So is there a scholarship for all saints? Or a way to go to Berkeley Prep? How do they do that?
Right. So we begin to develop relationships with these schools to where we feed our students. So the schools get to know us quite well. So we've already begun dialogue with All Saints. So All Saints knows that when they take an Academy Prep student upon graduation, that this is a student that is first and foremost, quite admissible to All Saints, but that they know that there is basically a full financial need. So those students go to those schools on full scholarships that are provided by the host prep school. So every student who goes to All Saints will go there on a 100% scholarship. Every student that has gone to Jesuit, and we have sent, it's probably now 4 students to Jesuit. Every single one of them has gone on a full scholarship. Every one of those 8 students that have gone to Phillips Exeter have gone on a full scholarship that covers everything. And Phillips Exeter literally comes to Academy Prep Tampa every year to recruit our graduates. So we've developed those kinds of relationships. We have a formal graduate support office with a director and a coordinator that works very closely with the schools where we send our kids. So works very closely with our graduates, their families, and the schools where we send them, and follows them all the way through college. Yes, sir.
Lincoln, I might have missed that at the beginning, but are your facilities at the old Fox School?
Thank you for reminding. Yes, we are at the original John F. Cox Grammar School at the corner of Memorial and Lakeland Hills, which then in 1998, I believe it was, through the Watson Clinic, became the Lakeland Volunteers in Medicine. We purchased their property, their school campus and medical campus in 2018, and then immediately began construction. And from the proceeds of that acquisition, LVIM was able to build their facilities, beautiful, beautiful facilities on Lake Wire. So yes, it's at the John Cox. What an absolutely beautiful and strong, figuratively and literally, building it is. And I am so happy that we're able to repurpose that as a place of education and civics. Yes, that's where we are. Yes, sir. Attrition so far in Lakeland is almost mirroring what we saw in Tampa over the first few years, where we lose anywhere from 20 to 30% of our students from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. It takes a few years to develop a culture, and for the families that we are serving to really have that culture, ingrained, and to have a true understanding and respect for what the expectations are, and the fact that we are, as the adults entrusted by the public to serve the kids, we're actually going to consistently do what we say we're going to do with our students. So it takes a while for that to really sink in. So it's about a 20 to 30% attrition rate, but I'll tell you that that compared to the attrition rate in almost every Title I school, which is probably anywhere from 60 to 70% per year, I think is pretty darn good. But we're now at the point in Tampa and in St. Petersburg where the attrition rate is in St. Pete, it is 2%, and Tampa started the school year at 116 students, and we are still at 116 students. We started St. Pete with 139, and we're at 137 now. But we've already improved the attrition rate in Lakeland from our first year. In our first year last year, we started with 67 students and ended with 49. But 2 of those students actually left here to go to the Tampa campus because they moved to Tampa. This year we started with 81, and we're still at 69. So it's getting better, and it'll become even stronger next year. At full capacity, we can take anywhere from 120 to 140 students. We'll begin next year here in Lakeland with 122. This will be the first year in which we are fully enrolled with grades 5 to 8. We started last year in our first year with two grade levels, 5 and 6. We added a 5th grade this year. We'll add another one in next fall, and we'll be fully enrolled next year with 120, 122 students. Oh, well, I'll just go back to the simple term I use, that we do what we say we're going to do. You do it. We must teach our children that there are consequences, good and bad, for every decision you make. So when you make a poor decision, we're going to address it. And it's not going to be just pure punishment. We're going to address it. We're going to address it firmly, and we're going to address it immediately. Without getting into the details of what you'll find in the disciplinary code within our 30-page handbook, When a student does something that needs to be addressed, it is addressed, and not only do they know of it, but their parents do as well. And we invariably bring the parents in to the discussion also. We have certainly suspended when appropriate students throughout this year. 90, maybe closer to 95% of the time when we suspend the students, we don't send them home on vacation. They come to our school, and they are isolated, basically very near my office, and are counseled throughout the day. Me and my colleagues, but we work with them. It is all joy. It's hard work, but it's all joy. It's worth every single gray hair that has exponentially grown on my head for the last 18 years. Yes, sir.
The profile of the typical parent family unit student.
One parent, and almost invariably a single female parent or grandparent or great grandparent. Great grandparents are commonplace guardians of our kids, and grandparents, of course. Trying to, I'd say really not more than 15, 20% tops in a good year. Is there a mother and a father involved? And the overwhelming majority of the fathers involved are stepdads or step boyfriends. The latest male who has entered the life of that home. It's and of course the poverty line now is set for a family of 4 at 24,000. We'll admit kids for the free and reduced meals program. You qualify for reduced meals at 200% of the poverty line. So still a family of 4 with an income of 48,000 or less. But the overwhelming majority of our families come from families where the income level is closer to the poverty level as opposed to the higher. As far as the racial and ethnic mix, we're different here than in Tampa and St. Petersburg. It's much more of a diverse mix of students. We're at about 50% Black, 40% Hispanic, and 10% non-Hispanic white.
Get to a couple of questions online. Talk about this a little bit. Do you receive federal funds?
The first question is, do we receive federal funds? Yes, but it only comes in one form. It's the subsidy for the federal free and reduced lunch meal program. So we get a reimbursement for our costs to provide it, and all of our students have to use that program. We don't allow our kids to bring their own bag lunch or McDonald's or anything like that. It's everything that we serve, and it's through the Meals on Wheels program, which is an outstanding institution, and they serve highly nutritious meals every day, and they also serve all 3 of our campuses in Tampa and St. Pete as well. And then the second part of that.
Yeah, so that they receive physical education, nutrition.
Well, on nutrition instruction, we have a program that we're not quite there yet in Lakeland, but through Blue Cross and Blue Shields, we have what is called the Fit Families for Life program. Those are additional classes in nutrition and healthy living, which has been serving our kids in Tampa and St. Pete for the last 15 years. And we do plan on instituting that in Lakeland as well. Question about PE. For the last, 15, 20 years with FCAT and now with FSA, our schools are preparing too much because there's that pressure of being graded on how you do on the FCAT or the FSA. So they basically spend the 6 months before those tests preparing like it's the invasion of Normandy to do well on those exams. So what happens when you are worshiping at the altar of teaching to that test is that all you do is just concentrate on those subjects, and you lose all your PE, you lose art. Our kids are lucky to get 45 minutes of art in a week. And I'm not talking about Academy Preps kids, but our kids in our public schools rarely get that. They're not getting much music. When they have recess, they don't have PE, and vice versa. At Academy Prep Lakeland, every single homeroom, they get recess every day, along with lunch, 2 70-minute PE periods per week, and our enrichment program at the end of the day, 4:30 until 6 o'clock, which includes also intramural sports. All of our kids get 2 70-minute art periods per week in an art studio with a fully vented kiln room as well. They get 2 music classes a week of 70 minutes and additional art classes and music classes in enrichment. So the development of a band, of a choir, of advanced art. Our kids get 2 70-minute periods of chess per week and an enrichment offered in chess, including the development of a chess team that is placed as high as 5th in the state of Florida in just the second year in the K-8 chess division. Every week. And it's not a shock. If you expand the intellectual horizons of your students, yes, you can take music and art and chess and gardening and a ropes course and also take all those academic classes, and you can do well on standardized tests as well. Now, when we do our standardized testing in Iowa, it's called the Iowa test. We don't prepare our kids for success on that Iowa test. We're teaching our kids English, history, science, mathematics throughout the year and sticking to our guns with it, with our kids. And lo and behold, when they take that first Iowa test as 5th graders, they're testing at 2 to 3 years less than grade level. And when we're graduating our kids at the end of 8th grade, they're graduating 2 to 3 years greater than grade level and going on to Exeter or Lakeland Christian or All Saints and going there and succeeding. It ain't rocket science.
Lincoln, number one, great name. That really stands that you've got a lot of resolve to do the things that you're doing. Obviously, you guys got a fantastic program. So thank you for the effort that you're putting into making our kids better. Just as a token of appreciation, we've got this book where you can record your memoirs or whatever you want to put in there. But thank you so much for speaking to our club. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Apologize. We had a lot of lingering questions online that we're not able to get to, so I do apologize for that. I'd like to thank our guests, Al, Greg, Belinda, Dr. John, Ryan, and Charles. Thank you all for coming to join us. Thank you for being with us and spending your lunchtime with us. Our weekly quote: an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. That's from Ben Franklin. Next week's program will be Zoom only. In 2 weeks, we'll be hybrid again, right back here. But next week will be Zoom only. So absent any protest to the contrary, we're going to call this meeting adjourned. Thank you all.